record. But yeah, I'll follow up with a few static analysis vendors that I've been talking with and see when their CBOM support is kind of planned. But yeah, does once a month sound okay with you guys? Just to kind of keep in touch. If we don't have anything to say, it's fine. Okay. Nicholas, I got your PR for the guides. It's awesome. So thank you for that. Looks like it's draft. Excuse me, for the attestations for CBOM. You were going to put an example in there, or?
Yeah, exactly. I was looking at the attestation guide, but I couldn't find any example there, so I wasn't sure if I should start already, like from this spec, looking how it would, look with CBOM, or if I should wait if they put out an example first that I can use to better understand it. Would decrease the time I need to understand attestation. If I have to look at the specs, then it will take longer for me.
Yeah, so I've got the attestation examples about halfway done at this point. I plan to complete those today. So by tomorrow morning, your time, there should be examples in the attestation guide directory on the repo. Let's see. But do we need that? Do we need the attestation examples, or could we just talk about? Yeah, we probably should actually, because that will then substantiate the certification levels, right? So you're claiming that you got the certification levels, FIPS 140 dash, whatever. And then here's your attestation for, okay, all right, yeah,
yep.
fine. Do that. All right, so yeah, I'll get those examples, check them today, and that way you have something to work with.
Cool, thanks.
They're code snippets, which is, good for documentation purposes, right? So it's not going to be like a full-blown thing, because including evidence and that sort of thing, it gets very verbose. But just kind of, I guess, follow the conventions that we've establishing for that. Do we have any updates on the MITRE work that you're engaged with?
So we started now to actually, or hopefully we'll start next week. It takes actually some time to start writing a white paper on how we, as an kind of industry or the companies that are part of MITRE PQC, how they see an inventory should be built. CBOM definitely part of that. Yeah, but nothing more than that. Actually, is really took a lot of time to finally start, which is a little bit annoying. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Okay. And Linux Foundation, I saw some things in the news. What was it, yesterday or last week sometime? They've got a
new foundation.
And I think IBM's like a founding member of this post-quantum cryptography foundation or something.
Yeah, exactly. It was on Tuesday, I think, was launched.
Is it? Okay.
So yeah, it was already quite a while in the making to ramp that up. And yeah, so I mean there is basically one or two founding projects of it. One is Open Quantum Safe, where we have also contributed for quite a while. And yeah, basically it's I mean it's about equipping open source software stacks, right? OpenSSL, and so
yeah,
providing a library with quantum safe algorithms, and yeah, bringing that to the Linux Foundation, I think should
yeah, this will be very impactful
for production use cases eventually.
Yeah.
So that yeah, quite good thing.
So the foundation is more about implementation of algorithms into open source libraries and projects, right? Are you
Yeah, so
going to, is the foundation going to be like removing all the legacy stuff or just working on the PQC readiness stuff?
it's yeah, it's more, I mean, so the project so far is more about providing the quantum safe
Okay,
part. It's less about removing things yet, because I mean that's more like downstream projects like OpenSSL might adopt that, right, as a plugin.
right.
And yeah, and then they will remove the legacy algorithms eventually.
Yeah.
Yes, they might
No,
build
this
them
is
for a
good.
while
One of the,
for, I mean, also for doing hybrids. That's a thing. What we also now support in the CBOM, right? So being able to describe that you use a legacy or a classical algorithm together with a quantum safe one. So that's why I think the classical ones will still be there for quite a while.
yeah, yeah, that was an interesting use case. I had no idea it was even possible. Um, yeah. No, this is really interesting. The challenge that I always had was like, oh, great, you know, NIST has got NIST approved, like, you know, I think it was back in the day when Argon was approved, right? Yeah, I think it was, is that what it's called? Argon 2 or something? Um,
Hmm.
yeah. Anyway, I'm like, these algorithms were, you know, coming out because of these NSA competitions or whatever. And you go like looking for like a library, and it's, yeah, it's experimental at best.
Hmm.
So, and it for whatever reason, it would be like that for a really long time. So, so just even being able to, I guess, speed up the adoption of people's like use of some of these newer algorithms would be amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, it takes really a long time until the new algorithms end up in, let's say, the common libraries that everyone uses, OpenSSL, which is
Yeah,
yeah, they don't want to provide experimental stuff in there, right?
right.
But still,
Exactly.
people have to, I mean, it's they have to start adopting them still, right? So that's why this,
Yeah,
you have this OpenSSL, they have this provider concept where
yeah,
it's OQS, we can have a provider that just provides the algorithms themselves, right? And then people can choose to use it or not, and don't have to change anything about their distribution themselves.
yeah. No, this is awesome. All right, well, keep us kind of informed on any kind of potential for cross collaboration with the project. Let us know how we can help.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean it's I mean OQS itself has a CBOM already, so that was the
really.
when we made our first release on the IBM organization
Yeah.
repository. Yeah, just pushed that to OQS so that we have a CBOM there, so that I will update that with our final.
Awesome. Wow, that's some dog fooding for you. Okay, that's great. That's great. Okay. Any other updates? To know you had something to bring up?
No, no, it's not related to
Okay.
crypto. It's attestation, but I don't want to deviate the topic. Yeah.
Okay. 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 Um, let's see. There was, I think I asked you guys, I'm pretty sure I have. I need more caffeine. Um, seriously, I'm not kidding. Um, possibly attending a future dependency track maintainers or community meeting and talking a little bit about CBOM. Yeah, I did bring that up, right? I'm not
Yes.
imagining it, right? Okay, got it. And do you have everything you need to do that? I think it's like the first week of March, I think, Vinod.
Sorry, can you repeat, Steve?
Yeah, the dependency track maintainers call where we're going to go over CBOM. That's like in the first week of March, right?
Yeah, it's the first week of March. Yeah, hopefully we will finalize the date and time soon. Like I mentioned, it is one of the blocker here, so yeah, I'm joking.
Okay.
Oh, that's the doodle that you send out, right?
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. So I want to send that doodle to the other community meeting joiners as well, so we can get some more idea about their participation preference as well. Then we can finalize. But yeah.
Just from a scope perspective, so it's CBOM and how we already thought about integration in D-Track, or is that only about CBOM and use cases? What should we
No,
share already?
just CBOM and use cases primarily.
Okay.
That way we can start thinking about it as a dependency track community.
Mhm.
I think the early work that you did was great. I think there's some potential for some future work as well. So I'm not sure if I mentioned this or not, but we have a grant writer over at the OWASP Foundation now, which is great. And the person is fairly technical and is very strategic in how he writes grants to kind of optimize your chances for aligning to what they're actually looking to get out of that grant. So the there was two candidate things that I was thinking of that we could do with and it was for the National Science Foundation, so NSF in the United States. And there was two things that I thought would be really applicable from a science perspective. One was machine learning, because AI is kind of beating the world already. And then two is cryptography, which is kind of that hidden fabric that most people don't see, and yet our day-to-day lives kind of depend on it. And both would absolutely benefit the scientific community, I think. And I think there was a little bit more potential for cryptography and aligning that to NSF efforts. There was some beyond just adding support for cryptography to dependency track. Beyond just doing that, I think there's opportunities for well, how do you identify risk? How do you identify weaknesses? Because dependency track, there's vulnerabilities. Well, these aren't vulnerabilities. I mean, yes, there is one technically vulnerable algorithm in the NPD, but everything else is not a vulnerability. It's working as designed. It's a weakness. So how do you do that? It's never really been done before. And then once you come up with the algorithm to kind of calculate your cryptographic risk, right? How do you then present that in the context of all the other risks that you have? And then there was the other opportunity for establishing that authoritative source of curved names, right? We have the unauthoritative source from the other university, which is a good starting point. But from an NSF perspective, it would be really interesting to actually have an authoritative source. We could work with existing universities, get some postdoc candidates kind of involved, etc. I think it would be a really good effort. So anyway, that was a lot to write, and by the time the person came on board, and we really only had like 5 days, and of course we didn't get done in 5 days, but all the material that we've kind of assembled, that's going to be used, assuming the grant comes around next year, because it's been around for the last couple of years. Assuming it comes around next year, we're going to use it for that. But between now and then, I would love to get just basic CBOM support into dependency track. Right, that's kind of step one.
Okay.
And then, of course, the first step of that is kind of educating the dependency track community. Hey, what is this? This is something new.
Yeah, understand. Yeah, I mean, for our like internal but also external, what we communicated to MITRE and also in other places, we still thinking about how one could detect crypto compliance or cryptocurrencies in dependencies, like in jar libraries or so. And there was a big point to do that maybe with dependency track in a way, but we just had strategic thinking about that, how one could do that without like special tooling, but with CBOM, and you know what is the way to do that. And there we had already some thoughts and some ideas, and if that is of interest to share, would be happy to do. Just still a question of the scope, but otherwise I understood.
Have you a question? Does the community care about, so if you have like a platform, say like, you know, a language like Java, right? You brought up jars. So if you have like a language and it supports, you know, these algorithms, whatever, do you care about CBOMs for that? Or do you really
Yes.
only care? You do. Okay.
Yes.
So the Eclipse Adoptium project, the Termium project that does Open JDK, right? They adopted Cyclone a while back, and I've got a few contacts over there. Have you been talking with anyone over there? Because there's
Nope.
Okay, there is a possibility that we could educate the Eclipse folks on CBOM so that they could actually start thinking of implementing that. That would be, I think, really valuable to have, especially as you go from like one version of Java to the next. And you can actually see the progression of algorithms kind of supported and that sort of thing.
Oh, that's a good point. Yes. Yeah. I mean, we were thinking from our point of view that, you know, you have like independent CBOMs from open source, like repos, source code scanning, and then kind of having a bigger repository which you can query from dependency track, like package URLs, and getting then the CBOM as like an inner view on it and collecting those things together. That were our thought first. But I think the thought you had is also interesting, like directly talking to the JDK folks. That's
Yeah.
good point.
Okay. Vinod?
Yeah.
Yes, so I just want to ask, like, is there any public or private data source with this crypto algorithm and corresponding weakness? Like, is there anything like that available? No?
No,
Not that I'm aware of, no.
All the
something I want to mention, right? That would be maybe also a point to make, right? I mean, like somehow authoritative list of algorithms and weaknesses. Right?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
well,
I'm sure there's an entry in the common weakness enumeration, but it's probably like a single line item or something, right?
Is it just a one weakness they have, like a CWID? Is that it?
No, because you're going to be weak to certain things, right? I mean, you might have a weakness that then is going to affect performance, or you might have a weakness that's going to affect something else.
So I was thinking, to be honest, even if it is not there, having the crypto inventory and that in dependency track, we could potentially use cell policies and create complex policy. Like if we have a crypto component and if there is even some vulnerabilities or, you know, which has a CWE or something, some kind of mapping there and figure it out how we can have it, or, you know, I think
Well, there's not going to be any vulnerabilities, but you could certainly see if whether or not your bill of material has any cryptographic assets, and if those assets are a particular algorithm, then yeah, you should be able to create a cell policy to kind of flag like the usage of, SHA-1, for example, and then flag that as a warning or violation of some kind.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Sorry, go ahead.
no, yeah. Don't you think there might be some value, Steve, like to even demonstrate what I don't know, Nicholas initially did with the dependency track to kind of inspire the community to think about potential use case and come up with some more ideas. Like I was thinking, like even having a demo or something might be helpful. I don't know. What do you think?
Sure.
Steve?
After the IBM brief on CBOM, kind of tying it together with existing cell support and kind of seeing, where this could potentially go and integrating CBOM. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, so if you will
Yeah.
inspire some ideas to the community, so that maybe community will come back with an interesting use case or contribution. Like, yeah. Sorry, Basil, I hijacked you. Please go ahead.
No, just want to say about CWEs, right? There are, I think, not sure if there is already one. I mean, that was our demo, right? That Nicholas has shown that like a CWE about quantum unsafe algorithms, right? I think that's not something that is in the database yet. I mean, there's more like generic use of broken or risky cryptographic algorithms, and then there are some childs of that, like RSA without OAEP, right? Which is one thing, right? I think there could be.
Right. But there's a lot of other things.
Yeah. We could technically convert those as a community policies or things like that, and even have, I mean, everything don't need to work around vulnerabilities or the way it's right now. So that's what I'm thinking, like if we can catalog all the potential, issues in a crypto component, we could even create a cell policy based on that and share it with community. Yeah, there are multiple ways to do it, but yeah, anyway, I don't want to solutionize anything. I think that's why I was thinking if we can even do some initial demo, how could potentially it can be used, then maybe that will help the people to think about these ideas. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't even have to be like a demo of the actual application, but like our thoughts, how one could resolve dependent crypto use independencies, like how we think that could work. Maybe not the best idea, but one idea, and then we could give that up for discussion. And
Yeah.
Okay. No, that sounds great. Well, Nicholas, Basil, let me know if you need any material for the or if you have any questions on the presentation in March, and Vinod and I will help you with that. Anything else?
yeah, I would just a quick question. Does someone of you know someone on the Sonar source side?
You mean the contacts?
The what? Sorry, I didn't get it.
You want some people from Sonar Source to keep you in touch, like. I did send them email about, so I did create a OWASP SonarQ project like, I don't know, 6-7 years ago. So at that time I did send an email to the MCTO. Then they're pretty responsive. I can send you the email IDs for them. Yeah. And
Yeah. So you want to add like CBOM support to Sonar Source?
Yeah, I mean we have already a plugin, and the contact I got like from the official side, she was like not really understanding the context and the importance maybe and the strategic value for Sonar, so try to have another entry point.
I think Mark Simons also reached out to me. Mark is he's a fairly non-technical person, but he's been deeply involved in the dependency track and CycloneDX community for a long time. I know his employer also uses SonarQube, and I believe he was because I kind of let him know. It's like, well, they're already checking, the product already checks for weak algorithms, right? It's really just a matter, and a lot of static analysis vendors do. It's really just a matter of using that existing logic and outputting not just the weak stuff, but all the stuff into this format, right? So I don't think it's a really hard ask, but I think the hard part, to your point, is trying to educate people what it is and why it's important.
Yes.
So I encouraged him to reach out to the vendor. I don't know if he did yet, but I'll loop all you guys together.
Okay, that's great.
So just want to add, Sonos also had a feature request process, like if you want their product team to consider, but again, that will go to their backlog and priorities. And also maybe, I don't know, we need to create something, then we can communicate with them and we can educate them why it is important. We can also include all the US government stuff there, like reference material and everything. Maybe we can have a collaboration or a timely release, or we can even contribute. I mean, my understanding, you guys already created a Sonar Cube extension in IBM, right? Like, so maybe, if we can contribute, we can express that you can contribute the PR in the Sonar Java or whatever plugin you want, then that might make things faster. Yeah.
Yep. I mean, that is definitely one opportunity. It's still a question of how our management will decide on that, but still, it's a good thing to explore. Yeah.
All right. And I'll let you know what I find out from some of the other stack analysis vendors that I've been kind of talking with as well. Is there any kind of public information that you can share on any kind of open source things coming from IBM to support CBOM?
Not yet, sadly.
Not yet. Okay.
Yeah.
Still too early. Got it. That and the lawyers be lawyering. Oh, I tease, but yes, the lawyers.
I would be happy if it's already only the lawyers that are in the way.
Oh, okay. Got it. I'm on a related note, I'm actually going to be presenting to CNCF today. They've got they have a working group on what do you call? I need more caffeine, seriously. Public sector folks, right? So, defense contractors, government agencies, that sort of thing. And so I was invited there to talk about the attestation support coming in 1.6. So part of that presentation, and I'll kind of link that. Actually, let me just pull it up now. In fact, I'll share the link with you. I don't think I'm going to change anything in the next couple of hours. But part of that presentation is just kind of level setting, CycloneDX real quickly, talking about what it does, all the new things that are coming into to 1.6, which is obviously cryptography, attestations and standards, and then diving into the attestations itself. But because this is a public sector meeting, I would guess that many of them are probably going to be interested in cryptography as well, as they probably should. But there's going to be a brief thing in there on how we kind of envision the attestation stuff working in real life in terms of automation and whatnot. And there's going to be one example provided, and it's more like an SSDF type of example. But I also plan on mentioning the thing with CBOM as well, because that's going to be really important. And I think many of those member organizations in that audience would probably care about that use case as well. So I sent the link in the chat window to that presentation. So that's today, and I think it's a couple hours, something like that.
Is that like the technical oversight committee where you're presenting, or is that the member board, or I didn't get it in the first place?
No, this is a working group specifically for the public
Oh.
sector. I'm not very familiar with that working group. I didn't even know it existed until Ian over at Lockheed Martin kind of let me know about it, and subsequently invited me to present to it. So I'm not exactly sure like the level of technical whatnot on that group. Although I do know there's, I don't know, a handful of folks from Lockheed Martin who are in fact fairly technical that do join. I'm just not sure about the non
Okay.
Lockheed folks. I know like I know a couple names over there that are also fairly technical, but most of the names over there I actually don't know, so I'm not sure.
Okay.
But this presentation is not overly technical, so it's I think
Mhm.
it's kind of right in the middle. So
Yeah, just would be interesting to see like how the CNCF also thinks about. I mean, SBOM is, I think, widely used there and like really widely used.
yeah,
Yeah, how it is with CBOM, then it would be interesting.
yeah, a lot more outreach potential for sure. In fact, Vinod, we should probably, oh man, we should probably figure out, I mean, OWASP has OWASP does have like like an enterprise Zoom license, right? We can hold like big webinars and stuff of up to like 1,000 people, like that. We should probably think of maybe doing some webinars for 1.6 once it's launched, because at the stations that's an entirely new audience for the most part. CBOM, a little bit of overlap to the existing audience, but again, it's about education. So if we can do like maybe a couple webinars and figure out how we can put something like that together, that might be good.
I think it's also good to maybe invite the working group members, like, I don't know, Ian or Jeff and people like that, and also Basil and Nicholas, like, so that
Yeah.
that would more traction as well. Like, yeah.
Yeah. Because I mean, everybody here has spent a lot of effort, really trying to nail down CBOM so that it's really good, and I think we're there, right? I'm really proud of the work that we've done here, and I think it's going to be immensely useful. But it's never going to be used if people don't know about it. So, yeah, let's talk about that some more, Vinod, offline, and we'll figure something out, and maybe have Nicholas and Basil and maybe a few others kind of come and help us present, and maybe have multiple sessions and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
We'll figure out the logistics stuff.
Yeah, there is also in May there is an event organized by Etsy, Quantum Safe event, and there we also have a slot on CBOM.
Nice.
Submitted
Nice.
time ago. Yeah.
Okay.
About
That's great. I might be presenting an RSA this year. I know OWASP has like a block of time, so I'm going to try to use that time for doing a brief on Cyclone and bringing people up to speed of what is the state of the art, because the state of the art is not SBOM, right? That's old. The state of the art is now all these other things, including CBOM and attestations and that sort of thing. So so I'm going to try to do something like that, put something together for RSA in a couple months. I'll let you know how that goes, or if I need any material for that or anything else. Any of you going to RSA? I usually try to avoid it myself.
Yeah, I've never been at RSA actually. No.
No?
No.
It is a zoo. You've been to RSA, Vinod, right?
No, never.
Really? Wow.
No.
Okay. yeah, it's like 30,000 security people all packed, and it's kind of crazy.
Is it in
So.
San Francisco still, or did they move?
Yeah, no, it's still in San Francisco at the Moscone Center. So
Yeah.
I don't know how long. I mean, San Francisco is not. I'm kind of mad at OWASP just having its conference in San Francisco for the next couple of years, because nobody really wants to go there anymore. But anyway, yeah, I'll kind of let you know how that goes. Any other updates? We've got like 15 minutes left. I'm happy to give people 15 minutes back of their life.
Sounds great. No updates.
Okay. All right, gentlemen. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. I'll ping you, Nicholas, when those examples are in.
Mhm.
And looking
Thanks.
forward to kind of wrapping this up. And I'll also go ahead and let you let you know when the updated calendar link for this meeting is going to be. And again, it's going to be just once a month or every 4
Cool.
weeks, basically. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Have a great
Thank
day.
you.
Cheers.
Thank
You
you.
too. Bye bye.